Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another episode of the Deep Six Podcast, coming to you from somewhere just outside of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Not quite sure we figured out just where yet, but I'm your host, Steven Spivak, joined today by my lovely co-host, Dan.
I know where we're coming from.
Where are we coming from, Dan?
I'm not telling.
It's
know.
a classified location.
I don't need people coming to find me and stealing my shit and trying to kill me.
But we are absent a co-host today. Matt Barnes is not here. I guess he's a little busy with some stuff.
He died.
He didn't die. He's not dead.
He's spiritually dead.
But here we are, episode 7. It is now the middle of September, almost the end of September.
It is the second half of September, so it's
like the third week of September. We're in the tail end of September here, and
Green Day is still asleep.
We'll wake him up when September ends.
Green Day is not a single person.
No, but I meant Billy Joe.
Billy Joe Armstrong.
Anyway, moving on. It is.
I want to make this as awkward as possible for you.
This is episode 7. And
7 whole episodes.
We don't really have anything planned for this episode, so we're gonna wing it.
I think I'm having a crisis about knowing that we're on 7 episodes. Holy fuck!
But
if you stuck with us through 7 episodes, 14 weeks, however long it has been, thank you.
That would be 14 weeks, yeah.
Thank you. Thanks for not hating us.
It's almost 4 months.
Hasn't been that long.
The next episode will be about 4 months that we've been on the air.
No.
Yeah. 4 months, 16 weeks.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
When did we start this? In June? Was it June? June, July, August, I guess.
Yeah, sometime in June.
Holy fuck. Well, here we go. We're gonna keep going then.
But if you've been with us since the beginning, or if you've just now tuned in and this is the first time you're hearing us, welcome and thank you for being here. We know the show can get a little crazy and a little sometimes off topic and a little off the rails, but
more times than not.
We're doing our best to pull that around and kind of make this a bit more of a professional endeavor.
Spoiler alert, no we're not. We just want you to think that.
But yeah, this week we don't really have anything to talk about.
Sure we do.
I mean, there's stuff to talk about, but there's nothing
sure we do.
Planned for the topic of this
Sure
this
there is.
show this week.
Why would you tell the listeners that there isn't?
But Dan, has anything exciting happened in your life over the last 2 weeks?
I've been watching a lot of the World Cup of Hockey, which just started up. It's the preseason to the preseason of the NHL season. Go Team North America. Also, last night was pretty much the beginning of the fall. Last night being September 20th. We were recording this on Wednesday, the 21st. But last night was basically the beginning of the fall television season. So, New Girl, Brooklyn Nine-Nine were back. So I highly enjoyed that. And
Except
I know
you didn't watch those last night. You watched those today.
I watched those today, but they were back officially last night.
I don't know. I've never really been a big fan of either one of those shows. But you had me watch New Girl today, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. Brooklyn Nine-Nine left a little bit to be desired, but
every time I watch New Girl, you request that I watch one specific episode that you thought was hilarious.
The Sauce episode, just because.
I don't remember which season it was in, but
just because
Nick Miller's character, played by, I forget his name, but he makes like the sauce with like ridiculous things in it, like mayo and mustard and like.
Oh, it's a lot more ridiculous than that at points.
But it gets a lot more ridiculous, but
he puts in like an old shoe.
Yeah, it's weird, and it turns out being delicious somehow.
I don't know. For some reason, that episode just struck a chord with me.
I think Steven just loves Nick Miller and his ridiculousness.
Might be. But I don't know. The episode of New Girl that premiered, what was it? Tuesday night? It would have been Tuesday night.
Yes, as in last night, as of this recording.
Season 6, season 4, season 6. I don't
4
know.
was Brooklyn Nine-Nine. This is season 6.
Okay, so
New
season
Girl.
6 of New Girl. I enjoyed. Might watch it a little bit more regularly.
You should go back and watch the whole series up to this point. It's all on Netflix.
I don't know. I watched the first season. I was okay with the first season, and then I kind of got into the second season, and it just kind of lost me.
Well, I think you should go back and watch it because
I might give it another chance.
The second season, I think second season on, it's better.
We'll see. But then Brooklyn Nine-Nine was very...
I thought it was great.
Very miss for me.
No, I thought it was great.
Although I don't know how I feel about Andy Samberg anymore.
Why?
I don't know. He's really hit or miss.
Man. Are you kidding me?
He's really hit or miss. The movie Popstar, that was great. That was fantastic.
Popstar was hilarious, and that will be something I'd die with. That opinion. No, I wouldn't kill myself.
I don't know. I felt like some of the jokes in the season premiere of Brooklyn Nine-Nine were really just kind of reaching.
You gotta watch the show though. Like you can't just jump into a show like that. Not to say that like you don't need to know like that the story is too complex, but you gotta get the type of humor that you're watching, because if you watch it from like up to then, you know the characters, you know how this like fits in with them, and you just know how it's funnier. Like some of the stuff that like Raymond Holt was saying on the episode. If you go back and watch when he first came on the show, it was like he was super serious, and then like he's starting to light up as the seasons go on, and it's just funny to kind of... I feel like if you know more about the characters, it's funnier.
I don't know. I wasn't too into it. I did, however, watch the premiere of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yawn.
No, not yawn. I was very impressed
Yawn.
with the debut of Ghost Rider on the show. And it was a lot more... I don't want to say it was darker, but there was a lot of blood.
Let's just say it was so dark you couldn't see it.
No. There was a lot of blood. There was a lot of...
So are they going... I don't know much about Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I've anytime I watch it, it just hasn't clicked with me. But is it kind of going the route of like Daredevil on Netflix?
That's
which would be interesting.
That seems to be the general consensus from what I've gathered, and I think they've even I don't want to say Jed Whedon, he's a showrunner for it, but someone tied to the show has said that they're looking to go more the direction of the Netflix original stuff, which
it's interesting if they make that show dark, because I feel like a lot more children watch it.
No, that's definitely not a kid's show. There's nothing.
No, I'm not saying it's a kid's show, but a kid finds out, oh, this is superheroes, this is Marvel.
Well, this will technically be
it's a little easier for a kid to get into. I don't want to say
this will technically be the first season with a quote unquote superhero on it, but
it's a little
going to be
easier.
The first season with a known character on it.
And it's also a little easier for a kid to get into a show on ABC than it is on Netflix. Granted, it comes on at 10 o'clock at night.
On a Tuesday during the school year.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's not necessarily...
I don't know. I don't know much about their demographic that watches it. So I might be wrong on that, but I feel like compared to like Daredevil and other things that Marvel does, it's probably easier for kids to get because they don't have to go spend money to watch it at a movie theater or somehow get in somebody's Netflix or something like that.
No, you're right, but I don't feel like it, at least from the first episode, had as dark of a tone as any of the Netflix stuff, but it feels like it's kind of sitting in that ballpark now compared to what it was before. I mean, I don't remember the last time I saw any blood on that show, and within the first 3 minutes, a guy was covered in it.
Blood! Look, Mommy, he's bleeding.
I don't know. But the portrayal of...
Is Ghost Rider being played by Sean Bernthal?
No.
Or Joe Bernthal, excuse me, not Sean.
No, this is not the same iteration of Ghost Rider that's been Nicolas Cage.
Wasn't he like really good in Daredevil though? So,
But
how come they
it's-
didn't bring him back for S.H.I.E.L.D.?
It's a different character, Dan.
Isn't it Ghost Rider? Oh, no, he was Punisher. Excuse me, I'm wrong.
Yeah,
He
that
was
the
Punisher. I got my things mixed
and
up.
that's John
so-
Berthnall. And
Yeah, that's my apologies. I got those mixed up.
he was fantastic in Daredevil, but this is Ghost Rider. This is the only iteration.
I admittily got those mixed up. I was thinking
the only iteration I think we've seen of Ghost Rider on any screen, live action wise, would have been Nicolas Cage, who would have been playing the Johnny Blaze version of Ghost Rider. I didn't thoroughly hate the Ghost Rider films, but
Nicolas fucking Cage, dude. He's made two good movies.
Okay, but I'm just saying I didn't thoroughly hate
His best line that he's ever dropped in a movie was
Ghost Rider films.
Not the bees.
I mean, they weren't the greatest.
Or
thing,
fuck
but
Mexico. Whatever you think is a better line from Nicolas Cage.
But this particular iteration of Ghost Rider is the Marvel Now comic book version of Ghost Rider. So I don't know the difference. Robbie Reyes. He's a young Hispanic kid. All right, I wouldn't say necessarily a kid, but he's a younger Hispanic individual. And in the show, he is played by Gabriel Luna. Gabriel. I don't want to call him Gabrielle. That's a girl's name. I'll call him Gabriel. Gabriel Luna. And he plays Robbie Reyes. And from what we saw of Ghost Rider last night in the premiere, I'm all for this. It feels really true to the comic, and it feels like it's setting up to be something worth watching. Truthfully, I think what I'm most skeptical about with this season is how they keep Ghost Rider and S.H.I.E.L.D. tied to each other. But we'll see what happens there. And I felt a lot of tension between the characters last night because S.H.I.E.L.D. has a new director. It's no longer Coulson, who took over for Nick Fury. They didn't reveal the new director last night. We all know who it is, actor-wise. Give me 1 second to find it.
Well, I have some. I have some news.
Well, hold on. We'll get to whatever you've got in a second.
I just want to quickly apologize if any of my burps make it onto the microphone tonight. I'm drinking while we're podcasting. In case you're wondering, I'm drinking Big Gruesome by Springhouse Brewing from Lancaster, Pennsylvania. It's a chocolate peanut butter stout. It's very good.
You don't need to yell.
But back to Steven. I do.
But
when I'm talking about beer, I get very excited.
But the new director of S.H.I.E.L.D. being played by Jason O'Mara, who I guess he was on a couple episodes of Grey's Anatomy. He was on a show, Life of Mars. Been on some random stuff.
Nothing really noteworthy.
Nothing that I see here that's...
Life on Mars. I remember that show.
That's
I
weird.
don't remember watching it, but...
He's voiced a lot of Batman stuff. Like direct-to-video Batman stuff.
Wait, was he on the British Life on Mars or the American?
Probably the British version, because he's from...
What's his name again?
Ireland. Jason O'Mara. Anyway, Jason O'Mara is playing the new director of S.H.I.E.L.D., and it seems as though he's kind of shaken things up a bit and changed the rankings of particular agents in the operation, and there seemed to be some tension going on. And
he was in the American version.
Okay, so he was. And
sorry,
there's just some shaking up there. If you've watched the episode, you'll understand what I'm saying. Also, Quake is on the run. Quake being what is it? Chloe Barnett, right? That's her name.
You're asking the wrong guy.
Ah, fuck. I want to say
this is all you, bud.
I want to say it's. Oh fuck.
Yeah, this is all you. Can we shift the conversation a little bit? This is all you. I don't know shit about agents.
I'm really bad at remembering people's names. Bennett. Chloe Bennett. My mistake. I don't know why I said Barnett.
Close enough.
Chloe Bennett. She is now basically I don't want to call her fugitive, but I guess she's technically a fugitive. She's on the run from everyone, and she is still doing good, but she is technically a fugitive. But yeah, I enjoyed it, and I'll probably continue to enjoy it, and
I will be happy for you as you continue to enjoy it.
And yeah, I'll probably keep informing of you guys of it every other week when we do the show, because it's probably I don't want to say my favorite show on TV, but I closely follow it just because of how much I love Marvel, and I love Clark Gregg as Phil Coulson, and I just love pretty much everybody on that show. So yeah. So moving on, Dan, you said you had some news. I guess you're trolling the Twitter there, so you probably found something on Twitter.
Well, it's not from today or even this week. It happened, I think it was announced like 5 or 6 days ago. But Fargo, the television show Fargo, is
I'll admittedly say I know nothing about it.
It's a spin. It's kind of a spin-off of the movie Fargo. Same kind of. It's not a connected story, but it's like takes place in the same kind of area. If you've ever seen Fargo,
it's probably as close to like a spin-off as this Lethal Weapon series that's coming out is supposed to be tied to Lethal Weapon.
Well, there's no like of the original characters of Fargo and whatnot are not in the series. And
but I get what you're saying. It's somewhat connected in some way.
Each season has been in a different time span, with different characters. Season 3 will be premiering, I believe, 2017. I think they said so. Still a little ways away. I think it's a winter show. But they made a casting announcement this week, and something I'm very, very excited about. Mary Elizabeth Winstead, for those of you that don't know, she was in 10 Cloverfield Lane, and she was also Ramona Flowers.
Yeah, Ramona.
In Scott Pilgrim versus the World. But
she's lesbians with you.
Yeah, she's been cast.
I may have to watch that if she's in it.
In Fargo.
I like her.
I highly suggest going back and watching the first 2 seasons. They're not connected, so you don't necessarily have to watch season 1 then watch season 2. But they're both very good. Billy Bob Thornton was amazing in season 1. But yeah, she's and she'll be joining Ewan McGregor, who was already announced prior. So they're already off to a pretty damn good start as far as the cast is concerned. And then I just saw this while I was searching the show. Apparently somebody else was cast. Scoot McNairy was added to the cast. I don't know him particularly.
He doesn't look or sound familiar to me.
But he's
probably done some amazing things that I don't know about.
He's been in 12 Years a Slave. He's been in Gone Girl. He was in Batman vs. Superman, Argo. Seems like he does a lot of stuff with Ben Affleck, because Argo, Gone Girl, and Batman vs. Superman all had Ben Affleck. He was also in an 80s television, a television series that was kind of set in the 80s called Halt and Catch Fire. I've never heard of it.
Nope.
So, I mean, he's joining Ewan McGregor, like I said before, who is a great actor. So it's pretty solid lineup to start. Season 3, and the 3rd season of Fargo will be taking place in 2010, following the events of the first season. But apparently, none of the characters from season 1 will be starring in it. So it's intriguing to see what's going to happen. But I was excited to read that this week.
That's cool. Just some other things I want to note about what's gone on with me over the last 2 weeks. One, I was in Kmart the other day.
Oh God.
Don't ask me why I was in a Kmart in 2016, but I was in a Kmart the other day.
Wait. Steve, why were you in a Kmart the other day?
I'm not answering the question. I told you not to ask me. But Kmart, the 3rd week of September, and they've already have Christmas stuff out. It's not even fall yet. Well, it'll be fall by the time this episode gets put up, but This was roughly
literally today is the first day of fall.
Yeah, when you're listening to this,
and it's 88 degrees outside. Fuck that.
But this was like 4 or 5 days ago, so this would have been like the 16th, and there were Christmas decorations up, and I just wanted to be like, it's not even fall yet.
Bro, capitalism.
Calm down.
Capitalism, bro.
I don't know. It's Kmart though, but it's really weird when you've got.
What are you gonna be?
You've just got the Halloween costumes put out.
I was gonna say,
and then 2 aisles over are Christmas decorations already.
If you want to talk holidays that have yet to happen and are closer than Christmas, what are you gonna be for Halloween? Do we know yet?
I don't think I'm doing Halloween.
Oh, come the fuck on.
It's what do I have to do? I don't really know anybody here.
Well, you don't party.
I don't go to parties.
And you're too old to trick or treat.
You're never too old to trick or treat.
Yes, you are.
No, you're not.
Do you know how many kids live in this neighborhood?
You're never too old to trick or treat.
There's a fucking elementary school down the street. You know how many kids live in this neighborhood? If you were to go around this neighborhood trick or treating, you'd look really weird.
Are we gonna be those people that don't give out candy on Halloween?
I gave out candy last year.
Okay.
We don't have that many people come to the door, but I gave out candy last year.
Okay. I don't know. Halloween where I live is not really
Come on, man.
a huge deal.
I'm sure you could throw something together, even with just shit you have laying around at home.
I don't have anything laying around. Let's
never
be
mind.
honest.
Never mind.
I mean, I don't live here in Pennsylvania. I'm only here for the
in
time
spirit.
being.
You're here in spirit.
I'm only here for the time being, so it's not like I brought, random shit with me. I brought clothes to wear.
Sure.
Like, I don't know. But another interesting thing that popped up over the time between last episode and now was we somehow found a PETA video that popped up in one of our news feeds on Facebook, and that video used the countdown intro that we have in the beginning of our podcast, which was really strange.
So if you're wondering why we're gonna change it here pretty soon, you'll know why.
Yeah, there's no intent to change it,
because the first thing you see in that video is very graphic.
It's a PETA video. If you've never seen a PETA video and you like animals, I suggest you don't watch a PETA video.
Cover your ears. But the first thing you see is an animal being slammed against the counter, and it's just like, okay, that's wonderful.
Yeah, but I mean, it's I'm pretty sure, the intro is just some stock intro. I found it on YouTube under a free use license. So
where did you find it?
Like I said, I found it on YouTube under a free use license. So
yeah,
it's probably just
PETA. So PETA basically stole our idea.
But that is what that is. Fun fact: I wound up seeing a PETA video that I wound up getting at Warped Tour one year. I think it was 2008.
It was not 2008. It was 2009, because I remember we were going to San Francisco and you decided to go vegetarian right before we left.
Yeah, it was not a fun trip, but
we get to like this nice Chinese restaurant in the middle of Chinatown in San Francisco, and Steven goes and orders tofu.
Well, that wasn't even the worst part of it.
Nothing wrong with tofu, but you're in a new place with like amazing food in this like high quality Chinese restaurant.
Listen.
Wouldn't you want
it sounds like you're knocking. It sounds like you're knocking people who are vegan and vegetarian.
I'm not knocking people. I just think your decision to do that on a whim.
What
when
I
you were going on
ate was
vacation
fine. From what I remember, what I ate, I was perfectly okay with. It was just
Look,
when you've got Tom from Blink-182 telling you that he wouldn't eat his dog, so why would he eat a cow? It kind of
Tom from Blink-182 is your rational, rational human being you're letting make your life decisions.
No, but I'm just saying when you watch this video and there's people in this video that at the age of I would have been
23.
No.
I was joking.
No, I wouldn't have
brought up Tom from Blink-182.
I would have been like,
what was your age again?
18 years old.
What was your age again?
What was that? That was like, what, 8 years ago?
You would have been, 18.
I would have been around like 18. I was an impressionable young human being. So like when people in bands that you kind of look up to at the time are saying, oh, I wouldn't eat my dog, so why would I eat a cow?
I like how it took them
that kind of thing.
No,
but I mean, like, and then when you see, when
we had a dog at home, clearly weren't eating her.
No, but then when you see the images that are put into those PETA videos, it kind of it warps your brain a little bit.
Well, PETA's a bunch of fucking hypocrites, so...
Well, we're not going to get into that, but...
Fuck you, PETA!
Just saying, I attempted to do the vegetarian thing, and it did not work out. I thoroughly enjoy my hamburgers now.
Yeah, Steven's just full. All he eats is meat now.
But,
like, no veggies. He completely just reversed his eating habits.
I just literally slaughter animals and eat them raw. It's...
Hey, Steve, I got a question for you. It's not related to your eating habits. Did you watch the Cruiserweight Classic?
Oh, well, I was just actually about to transition into this topic of discussion.
Well,
I did watch. I watched Paul.
That might be why I said it. Don't tell the listeners at home.
I'm not sure if I saw all of it. I saw most of it.
We watched the finale together.
Oh, we watched the finale together, but you asked me if I watched the series.
Well, I meant the finale, considering the finale was last Wednesday, a.k.a. a week from the night tonight we were recording this, and a lot has happened with the Cruiserweights since then.
Not really a lot. Like, one thing.
Oh, okay.
They debuted on Raw, but...
I mean, there's going to be a whole title match and everything. We'll get into
a title match.
But all right, so
poorly advertised.
What did you think of the finale, though? Was there just your overall thoughts?
I don't know. I think the finale was kind of underwhelming compared to some of the other matches on the tournament.
What? Just out of curiosity, why? Why do you say that?
Because one. You've got Kota Ibushi and Zack Sabre Jr., who are two of probably the hottest...
they're hot already.
I don't want to say cruiserweights. I don't want to use that term as a
just say
thing.
Wrestlers.
But two of the hottest wrestlers who are not currently signed by the WWE.
You just answered your own question before you even said
No. I'm just saying, and knowing that this tournament was to begin the Cruiserweight division on Monday Night Raw, and knowing that those two guys had not signed, it was just kind of weird going in there and seeing Ibushi and Zack Sabre Jr. get eliminated to go to Metalik and M. Perkins. Not that either one of those guys are undeserving, but I'm just saying Kota Ibushi is like top-level talent.
They made it believable, at least. Like, the match that Perkins and Ibushi had was pretty damn good, and it told a story. It wasn't just like, oh, here's a bunch of flips and shit, and then that's the end of it.
No, but I'm just saying, I would have liked to see the two of them go at it. And
I had to say, I think...
I don't...
Well, I think everybody was kind of hoping that from the beginning, and had... probably either of them signed a contract, you probably would have got that because you could have just had the guy that signed the contract win the match. But if you knew, we didn't know this coming in, but they reintroduced the Cruiserweight Championship. I think it has a new lineage, but it's the Cruiserweight Championship. With them reintroducing that, whoever was going to win and be the first champion had to have a contract.
Also had to speak English.
Exactly. Which I guess Zack Sabre Jr. does, but he doesn't have a contract. He turned down a WWE contract because he wasn't ready. He felt like he wasn't ready.
At least according to reports.
There's just no way you were going to put a guy like that on your main roster. And I guess, as the rumors and the signings came out as the weeks went by with the Cruiserweight series, you kind of got an idea as time went along who was going to win. Or who was at least going to be in the finals. So that did kind of ruin some of the surprise, but I thought Metalik versus Perkins was a great match. I think they did a great job. And
I'm not saying it was bad.
And that reveal by Triple H with the title right beforehand, and he's like, "You will go to Raw with this as the first Cruiserweight champion." Like, I thought that was pretty cool.
I'm just saying that I'm not downplaying anything that happened, and I'm not saying anything that happened was underwhelming or whatever. I don't know. I think Perkins is as deserving as anybody else. I didn't see Metalik going as far as he did in this tournament. I was very thoroughly impressed by almost every competitor, and
except for that ho loon guy, and that's
I didn't mind him.
That's not a knock on him, so to speak. I just feel like he just felt really green. He seemed kind of awkward.
He's one of the only wrestling talents in his country. I
understand that, and I'm not saying he doesn't have a reason to be. He just felt, compared to everybody else who felt kind of big time, like Kota Ibushi.
There were some guys in that first round. There were some guys in that first round who I even questioned why they were there. But Ho-Ho Loon was not one of them.
I mean, I think there were guys that lost in the first round that were incredible. Like the guy from Germany. I can't remember his name. I don't even remember who the hell he faced.
The big guy that wound up doing like the super lightweight moves?
He was kind of like Cesaro. He was like German Cesaro. All
right, now you're going to get me to pull up the bracket here.
Eichner.
Yeah, Eichner.
Fabio Eichner. Not Fabio. Fabian Eichner, maybe.
Might have been Eichner.
But he was really good. I enjoyed his work. I didn't know much about him. I thought Daivari was great. I thought the Bollywood brothers were both very good. Sean Maluta was very good. And these were all guys that went out in the first round that you just knew weren't going to go anywhere. But, I mean, I think the Bollywood boys were actually signed because a little bit of spoilers, but I believe they were on the latest NXT tapings from last week. So
I think they have a lot of potential, especially with that gimmick. That's not something that we've really seen before.
The Bollywood boys?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think, yeah. Plus with the Dusty Rhodes Classic coming back up, you're going to need more tag teams down in NXT. So,
can I say I think the standout of the competition for me, though, was Noam Dar. I don't know what it is about that guy, but
Noam Dar's good.
He really impressed me.
Yeah.
And then his match with Zack Sabre Jr., what was that, the semifinals? That match was like second to none. I think that might have been like the best match of the tournament, in my opinion.
That would not have been semi. It would have been quarterfinals, I believe. Oh, wait. Yeah, because it was not the second to last round, right? I don't know. I don't even remember who.
It would have been.
I think it would have been the quarterfinals. But either way.
Yeah, it was the quarterfinals. My mistake, because the semifinals and the finals were the same night, so it was the quarterfinals.
Yeah, because Sabre Jr. fought. Was it Perkins? No,
Metalik.
Because Ibushi fought Perkins. Yeah. But yeah, I thought the tag match between Cedric Alexander and Noam Dar versus Team DIY, which is Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa, I thought that was
fantastic.
Gargano and Ciampa just
let's also talk about
Cedric
Alexander, the guy who might have had the standout moment of the entire tournament
with the match with Ibushi.
Yeah, his match with Ibushi
was like really behind him afterwards. Well, I mean, you saw which guys they decided to start off. I mean, Raw on Monday, they had 4 guys show up, and they had a fatal 4-way. For those of you who didn't get a chance to watch,
which was kind of underwhelming compared to the matches that had been put on in the tournament.
Well, for me, it started out slow.
It also felt kind of awkward. It felt like they didn't really know what they should have been doing.
How many of those guys have actually been on TV outside of the Cruiserweight Classic?
Well, I mean,
like for Cedric Alexander,
some of those guys are
are
international athletes. I mean, they've gone out there and they've wrestled in Japan in front of large crowds, or they've wrestled in front of.
It's not that though. It's not wrestling.
Grand Metalik. Let's talk about Grand Metalik for a second. He's from CMLL. He's wrestled in front of thousands of people in Mexico.
My point is, it's not wrestling in front of a crowd or in an arena that big. It's wrestling to a camera, which in WWE the thing is.
So CMLL and
they don't
everyone
do that.
Else.
They don't do that as much as WWE does.
WWE it's still wrestling in front of a camera. I mean,
but what I'm saying is WWE focuses on do your stuff in front of the hard camera. Get it on camera. Go to specific turnbuckles to do specific moves, etc. So that you get.
I don't feel like there was any of that done in this match. I'm just saying it felt like they were telling them to hold back. It was telling.
But I'm saying like that might have been why, because it's not the typical match you're used to seeing on a WWE television.
No, look, listen. This is what I'm saying. You don't advertise the Cruiserweights in the Cruiserweight Classic and then every match pretty much be a show stealer almost, and then go and say we're bringing the Cruiserweights to Raw, hype them up, pretty much saying that you watch the Cruiserweight Classic. Here are these guys from that. And then go out there and then they kind of put on a half-ass match just because you don't want them, quote-unquote, stealing the show.
I don't think it was even so much that. I think it was also kind of a feeling out process. Like, if you noticed, at one time or another, there was really no more than 2 guys in the ring at a time. So it was kind of like, all right, mini singles matches mixed into one full match, which I'm not always okay with in terms of a Fatal 4-Way, because it feels like guys are just trying to get their stuff in, and then that's it. There's no story being told, and I felt like that was a major issue with the match. I enjoyed the match. I felt it was fun, but I think a major issue it had was you're just having these guys come in, and it's something Steve Austin mentions on his podcast a lot when he's talking to guys. You're just having guys come in, get their stuff in a match, be like, ooh, this guy did this, and then moving on to the next guy. You're not really giving a chance for anything to have much meaning to it.
I just felt like the match on Raw was really lackluster, and if that's what we're going to keep seeing out of the Cruiserweights, then I'm not super excited.
I don't think it will be. I think as you get singles matches, it'll be more kind of stuff you saw in the Cruiserweight Classic. But we didn't even mention who was in that match, because you mentioned Cedric Alexander.
We had Cedric Alexander,
Rich Swann, Brian Kendrick.
I was going to get to Brian Kendrick last, but we had Grand Metalik and Brian Kendrick. Brian Kendrick, who won the thing and is now considered the number 1 contender to go fight TJ Perkins.
And again,
this coming Sunday at Clash of the Champions.
No, just Clash of Champions.
Whatever the pay-per-view is called.
Right. But no, kind of like Perkins winning, it was a little predictable in the sense of, they're going to give it to somebody that WWE audiences might already know, to kind of help get things going, and I'm fine with it.
The audience was really kind of dead for all 4 of those guys
when they came out, but as the match went on, you could tell they were getting behind it a little bit more.
But not as much as I would have expected.
I don't think that's the fault of the Cruiserweights, though.
No, I think it's the fault of
the fact it's a 3-hour show. The crowd's exhausted by the time you get... Plus, it was Memphis, Tennessee. What the fuck do they know about Cruiserweights?
Well, I mean, I'm not gonna knock the audience, but I'm just saying I think they should have done a little bit more promoting of the Cruiserweights going into debuting them.
I don't really
know
on
main television.
How much more promotion you could have done? They had vignettes every week, and they had a 13-week tournament. I don't really know what else you could have done to promote them.
Anything that happens on the network, I don't want to consider it canon. I mean, but it's not like the casual fan that's buying tickets to Monday Night Raw is going to know who Cedric Alexander is.
Yeah, but you had
at least not in the first week.
You had promos every week of the different Cruiserweights. You had them mentioning it every week while the CWC was going on. I don't really know what else you could have done other than have those guys come to Raw one week. And even then, I don't think people would have gotten behind somebody just for having him show up.
I think it would have been smart to save. I think it would have been smart to save the Cruiserweight Division's debut for after the pay-per-view. Give them some time to have some matches, 4 weeks of matches going into the pay-per-view, rather than having them debut literally less than a week before the pay-per-view, and then not even having the champion on the show, and then having a match that's hardly advertised on the pay-per-view.
I think the point is, though, you get them on the pay-per-view, you had the champion in a match, you're going to have more eyes on that than if you just had it on Raw. More people are going to be watching Clash of Champions than would sit down and watch Raw on a Monday night. So
I don't think that's true.
You get more exposure to the match.
I think it's going to be weird when a guy comes out on Sunday and he's got a title and nobody knows who he is. Well, am I wrong? Is that not going to... You do not think that's going to happen?
I mean,
Where is Clash of Champions taking place?
I don't know. But they've done it with NXT in the past where they'll bring up a guy and basically tell you what he's done in NXT. So I think the point kind of is, all right, well, you need to go watch the CWC.
Indianapolis,
to find out about this guy.
Indiana. He's going to walk... TJ Perkins is going to walk out there on Sunday and nobody's going to know who he is.
I don't think that would have happened even if he was on Raw.
See, I'm kind of...
I don't think him being on Raw would have changed
disagree,
that. I don't think him being on Raw would have changed that at all. Because it's still... I don't know. I think if you give them the match on Sunday, give them a couple weeks to start building this thing up in front of an actual WWE audience, bringing in more guys, and establishing these guys. Nobody gets established in a week. Unless you're like...
That's part of my point, though.
So that's what I'm saying. Like, yeah, you're saying Perkins is going to come out probably to silence on Sunday, but that's not going to make. That's not.
Why was Perkins not featured at all on Monday night except for one vignette?
I don't know.
I mean,
probably simply for the fact that he wasn't going to be in a match, so there was no point to really have him there.
This isn't NXT. The idea isn't to debut a guy on a pay-per-view. I don't think that's smart.
I don't think.
Then again, I also don't think it's smart that we've got 19 pay-per-views a year now. It feels like overkill.
Oh,
I'm already kind of burnt out on it.
Well, no shit, it's overkill. It was overkill the first time they did brand extensions. No, I think, and I also think you give Perkins the ability to come out on Sunday, have a great match, and win the crowd over. I'm not saying that that's necessarily what's going to happen, but I think judging this and saying, okay, well, he's going to come out, nobody's going to know who he is, I don't think that's a bad thing for his first main event, for his first appearance. And had he even came out on Monday in Memphis, I don't think that changes the way the crowd in Indy would have reacted to him.
No, but I don't think keeping him off the show entirely was a good idea. I think even if he came out and cut a promo, or even if he came out and did a stare down on the stage to Kendrick, or even if he came out and shook Kendrick's hand or did something, or even if Kendrick got on the mic and was like, Perkins, I'm coming for you Sunday, I don't think anybody in that building realized that match was a number one contenders match. I'm just saying I feel like
it was announced literally right before the match happened.
But I'm saying I don't think people realized it. I don't think people caught it and paid attention to it.
I think you got to give it time. I think, like, I don't necessarily disagree with you, but I think you give it some time, give it a chance to breathe a little bit. If we're back here in a month and we're talking about this still being a failure, then there's some warning signs, but it's been a week. And I think if they can kind of utilize the time they're given, and I think people are making a big deal about, well, SmackDown should get the cruiserweights, but if you think about it, Raw's 3 hours. Raw needs more.
Raw
segments.
Makes more sense at this particular.
Raw has
venture.
more time for these guys, whereas SmackDown, at least for now, they'd get lost in the shuffle a little bit.
I think putting them on Raw makes sense just because of the time frame, but.
Plus, you can get
it
guys
also
like
depends
Neville
on
and Sin Cara involved, and
it also depends on where they get put on the card and how they're actually utilized.
Well, they clearly put them in the third hour of Raw on Monday because.
But that's not necessarily a good thing, in my opinion.
But I'm saying they clearly did that as well as a cage match because they were trying to pull viewers away from Monday Night Football. You're going to see more. You're going to see more. No, I mean, I'm not saying fact.
You're wrong, but I'm saying I guess that's why they were put there.
You're going to see more and more of that as football season gets further and further in. We're only going to be in week 3 this upcoming Sunday. More and more time passes. You're going to see more and more stuff happen in the third hour of Raw.
That's
believe it or not, according to what Dirt Sheets were saying, that's why they announced the steel cage match in the first segment of the night, so that people would come back and tune in that third hour. Plus, Raw's ratings have been very bad.
Well, ratings in general for WWE have not been fantastic from what I understand, but
SmackDown's not doing terrible as far as I know.
SmackDown was drawing the lowest ratings of its history with Dean Ambrose as champion, so...
Well, I don't know what they drew this week. Let me see if I can find out if there's been anything.
It doesn't matter. We know it's not a great number. We know it's not a high number.
It might be better than Raw's, though.
I highly doubt that it's doing better ratings than Raw.
It might. I don't know. We'll have to see. Oh, wait. Here we go. I found something. It did 2.658 million viewers.
It did a 2.6.
The numbers are down from the week before, but it's still ranked number 1 among cable originals for the night.
Okay, so what did Raw do this past week?
I think a 1.9. I'm not...
Okay, there's no way SmackDown did a 2.6 or got 2.6 million viewers.
No.
And then Raw
2.6 million viewers is not a 2.6 rating.
No. But I'm saying I need to know the same, scale on what things were viewed at to know what's going on here.
Well, Raw did about 2.7 million viewers in the first hour, and it dipped dipped in the second hour, went up a little bit in the third hour. So they did about the same.
Which isn't anywhere near surprising.
So
I mean, I don't know. I think having 5 hours of TV spread over Monday and Tuesday is not smart.
I don't think it's the amount of wrestling that's killing people. I think it's just when there's.
No, I do.
Now,
I know for sure that
Raw's going up against Monday Night Football.
But that
SmackDown. No, don't say it has, because Monday Night Football does like 4.5 ratings. You don't understand.
But Raw's
the ratings
been going up against Monday Night Football since what, 1993,
and getting crushed.
So I mean, this is nothing new.
And the other thing is, SmackDown was going against the new fall season of all these shows that were debuting last night.
That's why I think SmackDown ever moving from Thursday nights was a bad idea, but
nobody's gonna watch. Nobody watches SmackDown on Thursdays anyway. I think the fact that they're doing 2.6 million viewers for SmackDown, I think they're going to be happy with that, because that's about as well as it's going to do at this point. And I think with DVRs and the network and everything else, people don't feel the need to go out of their way to watch it anymore. Whereas with Monday Night Football, where else are you going to see that game if you don't sit down on a Monday night and watch it? You can't come back and watch it 2 days later on a different network or something.
I don't necessarily think.
Whereas Raw
live television ratings really matter that much anymore.
Raw and SmackDown are on Hulu in 90-minute versions, like 2 days later. So.
Oh no, SmackDown's in full.
Well, because
SmackDown's
it's only
put
2
up
hours
in full,
anyway.
And then
I'm sure they edit some stuff out, but. And then Raw, they put a 3... Like, I'd much rather watch the 90-minute version of Raw, even though I never do. But I'd much rather watch 90 minutes of Raw cut down instead of 3 hours. Granted, you're probably missing some stuff because they, at their own discretion, cut segments, so you might miss something important.
I don't know. I'm just saying that I don't agree with building a championship match 1 week out, not even a week out, and then not even putting the champion on the program before the match.
Outside of that match, though, how are you feeling about like the Clash of Champions card? How you feeling it's gonna stack it up? Like how just real quick, I don't want to get too far into it. How did you feel about Backlash, and how do you feel Clash of Champions will kind of live up to that? Because I thought Backlash was enjoyable. Now, granted, it's the shortest pay-per-view WWE's had in like 5 years.
I don't know. I'm not invested in these pay-per-views. There's nothing on this card that's particularly standing out to me. I mean, the triple threat women's match, I mean, I think is going to be decent.
I think I'm really looking forward to Kevin Owens' first title defense. I'm really looking forward. Why?
He's getting in there with Rollins.
Oh God, stop!
And I'm not holding a stigma over Rollins. I'm not saying that Rollins injures people, but he doesn't have a great track record.
He's had how many matches without injuring people?
I'm just saying. I just hope that.
I think you're going overboard with it. I'm really excited. I'm really excited for that match, just for the fact it's Kevin Owens versus Seth Rollins. I think you got money on your hands right there.
I mean, we got a singles match with Zayn and Jericho too, which
that if Sami Zayn doesn't win, I still don't really know what they want to do with Sami Zayn. It feels really strange. And I think the only other thing I'm really that excited for on the card is I'm excited for the fact that the club might finally become
not going to happen.
WWE Tag Team.
It's not going to happen.
I think it does.
New Day sells too much merchandise.
Well, New Day's also been champion for 400 plus days. They can't hold the belts forever.
So what?
And I think
they sell merchandise.
And I think they'll sell just as much merchandise if they're chasing. So
I don't know about that.
People aren't going to just stop.
I mean,
people aren't going to just stop buying New Day merchandise because they're not champions. It doesn't work that way anymore.
I don't know. I don't think
people
they're ready to. I don't think they're going to pull the gun on giving the...
Did people stop buying John Cena merchandise because he hasn't been champion in 2 years?
No, but that's John Cena. That's a completely different ballgame, if you ask me.
New Day's more of a merch mover these days than John Cena is.
I'm just saying, I think saying people stop buying John Cena merchandise just because he's not champion is different than saying.
All right, quick. Give me your real quick predictions for each match. Alicia Fox, Nia Jax, go.
Nia Jax. There's no doubt in my mind.
Nia Jax on my end. Kevin Owens, Seth Rollins.
Oh, we're going to start with the main event?
Okay, fine. TJ Perkins, Brian Kendrick.
Perkins.
Cesaro, Sheamus.
Cesaro.
All right, we're 3
Are you going to give your...
Only if I have a dissenting opinion, so
Okay.
we're 3 for 3 together so far. Rusev and Roman Reigns.
Unfortunately, I think Roman's going to win.
Yeah, me too. Sami Zayn, Chris Jericho.
Hoping for Zayn. I haven't really... Is that a storyline?
They had Zayn on on the highlight reel, and then kind of like did like a thing. I don't know. It wasn't. I think the whole basis behind it was Chris Jericho saying, "Oh, Kevin Owens is my best friend, and you're jealous that you can't beat Kevin Owens and win the title and everything." And
I definitely think.
And then
Zayn's gonna win.
Then he attacked him. It was. I think Chris Jericho is gonna win. I just have this hunch because I feel like this might go another month. But Survivor Series. Well, no, Survivor Series isn't next, so I don't even know. Charlotte, Sasha, Bailey.
I think Sasha wins, and I think there's some kind of indifference between Sasha and Bailey. I also think that Dana Brooke's going to get in there somehow and cause some problems with Charlotte. I think they're going to start a Charlotte-Dana promo, and I think they're going to do Sasha and Bailey for the next couple months.
I'm going Charlotte retaining. New Day versus the Club. We already pretty much covered that one. You think?
Yeah, I don't.
Think New Day.
I don't think they're gonna pull the gun on giving the Club the titles yet.
And finally, Kevin Owens, Seth Rollins.
Owens.
Yep, I agree. I don't think Kevin Owens is relinquishing the belt anytime soon. Just like I don't think AJ Styles is losing at No Mercy to, Dean Ambrose and John Cena in that triple threat match that they're having. So.
Yeah, I don't know. It's really hard to follow this stuff when each brand is building two separate pay-per-views.
I think it has benefited a lot of guys on the roster, like an AJ Styles
or a Heath Slater
and a Kevin Owens and whatnot, to break off into two brands. But it feels
like it's too much. Yeah,
and because the Eagles were on Monday Night Football this week, I wasn't like, well, damn, I need to go back and watch Raw later. I was like, there was no doubt in my mind. I'm like, I'm just watching the Eagles. That's it. I'm watching Monday Night Football. I don't even care what happens on Raw. The only time I turned on Raw was to watch the Cruiserweight segment. And I think I watched a little bit of the cage match because the Eagles were blowing out Chicago at that point.
It wasn't like Raw was something to write home about.
But I'm just saying, like, this is what Raw is doing to me. SmackDown, I'm like, yeah, I want to watch SmackDown. I enjoy SmackDown. I think SmackDown's mile ahead.
I don't really care to watch much of either.
I think it's.
I'll admit this.
Because it's 2 hours. It's 2 hours.
I like anything AJ does. I'll watch anything AJ's doing. I'm invested in the cruiserweights. I'm invested in.
Can't wait till Eva Marie comes back.
And I'm invested in Bailey. I like watching Bailey work. I think she's fun to watch work, and I think she's got decent charisma.
Been pretty boring since she came up.
No, I don't.
No,
I liked her stuff with the New Day. I liked her stuff. Although I'll admit I didn't see the match last week, the number one contenders match or whatever that was, and I enjoyed the tag match this week with her and Sasha versus Dana and Charlotte.
I don't know.
That's just me though.
She hasn't moved the.
Then again, I am admittedly a Bailey mark. She
hasn't moved the stick for me since she came up. So not really. I don't know. I'm not digging it. I don't know. I still like her. I'm not gonna say that she's a fail and she's getting over. So whatever. I just think this program that she's in right now, I feel like she was thrown in the program simply because of Sasha's injury, and now it just feels real convoluted, real kind of like a clusterfuck at this point, just for the sake of, well, shit, we can't just
totally
take her out of the program.
Look,
now.
it's totally. I'm telling you, this is probably what's going to happen on Sunday. There's a lot of tension between Dana and Charlotte. I think Dana's going to get involved somehow and cost Charlotte the title to Sasha. And then I think there's going to be something that happens between Sasha and Bailey, and then we get two separate programs out of that match. So, I mean, we'll see. I don't know.
I don't think Sasha and Bailey's happening anytime soon. That's a match they want to save for WrestleMania, especially with WrestleMania being in Orlando.
I think it's something you could milk until WrestleMania.
There's a reason Dana Brooke was thrown into that number 1 contenders match last week. Because they were not going to give Sasha Banks and Bayley away on free TV. There's no way. And I think Charlotte's winning that match. I don't know. I think I
don't know. I we'll see. I think the women's division on Raw is very scarce right now.
I think SmackDown.
Then again, we do have Paige set for a return, so we'll see where she pops in.
And Emma, who's apparently been cleared for 6 weeks, yet they have yet to bring her back to television.
Well, she was reffing a match on a house show, if I remember.
She was.
So I don't know. We'll see. I don't know if Emma might go to SmackDown.
SmackDown's women's division is way better than Raw's right now, and
I think that's broader.
Because I think they're giving. And I mentioned this to you the other day. I think Raw's problem is they keep hanging on to this idea of women's revolution. You know, the women are gonna steal the show, blah blah blah. Whereas on SmackDown, they're like, "Fuck it, just go out and have a match."
Yeah,
just go out and do what you do. We don't need to talk you up because you're gonna do it for yourself.
Yeah,
and they're not using that as the backbone of their women's division.
Well, we'll see what happens come Sunday and the following 2 weeks. With about the last 5 or so minutes we have here, I want to say that we've been trying to figure out a way to do some Let's Play stuff where Dan and I, or Dan, Matt, and I, or Matt and Dan, or whoever may...
Dan by himself.
Yeah, one of us by ourselves might get on and play some video games, have some live interaction with you, the audience. I think we're trying to set that up on Twitch. If it is on Twitch, it'll be...
It's probably going to be...
Deep Six Podcast.
It's probably going to be a huge fail. But we'll see if we can try and figure out. We also still need... we still need to send out like a poll.
Yeah, we need to put up a poll to figure out a movie that we're gonna watch,
or like a TV show or anything.
So if you guys have any suggestions, you can tweet at us. Let us know, of course, at Deep Six Podcast, or you can go to Facebook and let us know. Of course, that's also Deep Six Podcast.
Or if you know us personally, send us a text. I'm not giving you my phone number if you don't know me personally.
But yeah, we're wanting to do the whole thing where we watch a movie and kind of do a running dialogue during the movie.
I also had this idea before we came on the air tonight. I say that like we're live. But where because me and Matt drink and Steven doesn't, so we just have one sober host and maybe like the other ones like progressively drink as the show goes on, and we see how hammered we can get as the show goes on.
That just sounds like a disaster waiting to happen,
just
though.
To see what it turns into, and just for
that might be fun to do, like a live thing.
Yeah,
that might be a little bit more fun to do live.
Like we could play, we could do like a thing where like we're watching something, doing a live podcast, and like we play a drinking game with whatever we're watching. So like if certain things happen, like if we're watching like a wrestling show and like Michael Cole says vintage, like, oh, take a drink, or something like that.
We'll see. We got to work out the details of something along those lines.
I feel like trying something stupid like that would be fun just for the sake of going outside the box. I don't know.
And then I'm also trying to set up some sort of way for the listeners, you guys, to possibly be able to donate to our show or help out our show in some way and get some cool rewards. Thinking of trying to do a Patreon account, but just trying to see what's out there, see what's available, see what might be the best option.
In case you didn't know, we have a lot of ideas, and we're not sure how to execute a lot of them, so just stay tuned, stay with us. We're trying to figure this thing out. We're still kind of rookies.
Yeah, we're still in the, I don't want to say we're still in the feeling out process, but we're still in the process of trying to figure out truly where this show is going and what this show is supposed to be and what it's going to be.
We're trying to figure out if we should kill it off.
No, but we're just trying to find the right comfortable zone for this show and the things that we should be doing with this show. But we also want to experiment and do some kind of different things that you don't normally see happen from a podcast or something along those lines.
So if you have any cool ideas, shout us out.
Yeah, if you've got any ideas, you could always contact us on social media at Deep Six Podcast on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram,
Snapchat.
Snapchat, but the
Twitter and Facebook preferred.
The basic social media channels, or you can email us at I think it's deep6podcast@gmail.com.
Don't email us.
Or there's many ways to get in contact with us.
Like I said, if you know us personally, text us. If you are a friend of ours and you listen to this and you have our phone numbers, not giving you my phone number again, saying that again. But yeah, whatever, contact us. That's cool.
But yeah, guys, I don't know. I think now's as good a time as any to try and wrap this up. So if you enjoyed the show, if you enjoyed what you just heard, please.
You didn't.
Please feel free to share it with your friends, share it with your family, share the link to this show on your social media pages. Just try and spread the word out there so other people can come and enjoy it as well, and we can build some sort of a community here to, have a little bit more interaction, a little bit more discussion, and whatnot with you, our audience. And of course,
build an audience.
Of course, if you're not subscribed already, you can do that through iTunes, Google Play Music, Stitcher Radio, or Podbean. You just have to go to any one of those services and search the Deep Six Podcast, and you'll find us, and then you'll be able to click subscribe. Of course, I already mentioned all the social media: Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, all at Deep Six Podcast. Like I said, we are working on trying to get a Twitch account going, seeing if that's going to work.
Stay tuned.
So we'll let you know about that. But yeah, I guess here's where I tell you to come back in about 2 weeks.
Steve, where can they find you on Twitter?
Oh, well, I guess, yeah. You can find me on Twitter at Steven_Spivak. Dan, where can they find you on Twitter?
Don't ever shoot the finger guns at me like that again. They can find me at D_Spivak. If you don't know how to spell my last name by now, it's kind of weird.
But yeah, I guess now is where I tell you guys to come back in 2 weeks, where Dan, myself, and hopefully Mr. Matt Barnes, will get together again and do this show. And not sure what the topic's going to be just yet, but yeah. Until next time, that's been the Deep Six Podcast. We'll see you later.
R.I.P. Tom Bro, dude.